close golf analysis and insight. Be sure to download and subscribe to the First Cut podcast. There is no better the PGA Tour. Download and subscribe to the First Cut podcast. We go in, we stay in, we go in, we stay in. The Thanksgiving matchup between the Ravens and the undefeated Steelers has once again been postponed after being slid to a Sunday slot from the original Thursday late game. The game has been pushed a second time, and now we're tentatively looking at a Tuesday kick in the high-stakes divisional matchup. The Ravens continue to deal with positive COVID tests in their building with some of the biggest names on their roster, including reigning MVP quarterback Lamar Jackson, while the Steelers again find themselves at the mercy of someone else's schedule. Here's a look at some of the top fantasy headlines. Lamar out for you? Well, possible stream start. Yes, it's a downgrade, but Maserati Mitch has got the ball back for the Bears in prime time against Green Bay. A couple big-name wide receivers also missing out this weekend. Adam Thielen's out with COVID. DJ Chark out with ribs. Here's our fantasy expert, Jamie Eisenberg, with his starts and sits for Week 12.
Time for your starts and sits for week number 12. Let's start with the quarterbacks, and the start of the week is Tom Brady. Love the setup for him in what should be a fun game between Brady and Patrick Mahomes. We all know Mahomes is the better quarterback now, but Brady's going to have a top 10 performance because it's during the day. Don't play Brady when it's at night. Play Brady during the day. 7-day game so far, and 5 of those, 23 or more fantasy points. He's just an old guy at this point, doesn't like playing night games. Who can blame him? He likes to go to bed at 9:30. This is a day game. He should have fun chasing points against Patrick Mahomes. The sick quarterback, and I hate saying this because the matchup's great, but it's Carson Wentz. You just can't trust him. 3 games in a row with 18 fantasy points or less. His offensive line is banged up once again. And let's face it, Seattle's defense, last time we saw them, did a great job against the Cardinals. Maybe that unit's coming along, but Wentz just not trustworthy, someone you want to avoid in week number 12. The running backs we're looking at here, this one's more of a sleeper than a must-start guy, but Zach Moss, I think, is in a good spot for the Buffalo Bills coming off their bye week, taking on that miserable Chargers defense. They can't stop the run. Moss is better than Devin Singletary. He might score twice in this matchup for the Bills at home. The sit running back is Kenyon Drake, and again, somebody you might not have to sit, but I think you might want to just given the matchup. What we've seen from the Patriots the last 3 weeks, now the matchup's been a little bit different. New England taking on the Jets in one of those games, the Ravens in one of those games, and then the Texans, but I think you're going to see Kenyon Drake struggle. If he doesn't score a touchdown, hard to trust him. I do like what I saw last week from him with the 4 catches on 5 targets. Do that more, Cardinals. But if they don't, I think you're going to see Drake struggle if he does not find the end zone because he's typically not involved in the passing game. Justin Jefferson's in a great spot. I think he's going to be heavily targeted in this game, and just give him 9+ targets. Look, it's either 5 targets or 9 targets. 5 targets, he's good. 9 targets, he's great. And if they give him the opportunity to be featured in this offense, I think we'll see a strong performance from him as potentially the number 1 wide receiver for the Vikings. The sit wide receiver is T. Higgins. Why? Quarterback change. Look, Brandon Allen might be great for T. Higgins. We don't know. I don't want to find out. James Bradbury could take on this matchup with T. Higgins, and that would be bad for the rookie wide receiver. He's been awesome, but that was with Joe Burrow. With the quarterback change, someone you might want to avoid. Let's go to the tight ends now, and Hunter Henry scored in 2 straight games. Here's the numbers you need to know. 7 targets, 4 catches. He does that every week. Can he get you more yards than that than what he would typically see, which is around 30 to 40 yards? Hopefully, but he could score in 3 straight games. Great matchup for him. The Bills without Matt Milano in there, they struggle against tight ends. I think Henry finds the end zone for the 3rd week in a row. And Noah, thank you on Noah Fant this week. He just has not been productive. Last time he scored a touchdown was week 2. Tough matchup against the Saints. They've been very good against tight ends of late. I think Noah Fant's going to struggle once again. I'm still hopeful he can have a breakout finish to the season, but right now he's struggling. Someone you should avoid in your lineups for week 12.
All right, thank you, Jamie. Not quite sure who to start just yet. Be sure you download and subscribe. Fantasy Football Today. It is the premier podcast in all of fantasy football. Our guys get you up to the sits and beyond on Fantasy Football Today. Straight ahead on CBS Sports HQ, the Iowa Hawkeyes looking to continue their border dominance over Nebraska in what proved to be a thriller.
right now, we've got the app for that.
This is CBSN.
We're just on the front lines. Police have surrounded the area.
The marchers were saying, let us march. We want to march.
CBSN, CBS News, always on.
Time now for your news in 90. The Falcons ruled out running back Todd Gurley for Sunday's game against the Raiders due to a knee injury. Star wide receiver Julio Jones did not practice Friday, as well as he continues to deal with a hamstring problem. He's currently listed as questionable. Meanwhile, the SEC has rescheduled Alabama's postponed game against LSU for December 5th. The move would jumble up the schedule a bit, with Alabama and Arkansas's game likely to move to December 12th, 1 week before the SEC title game. LSU's game against Ole Miss could also be moved to December 19th. Vanderbilt's Sarah Fuller could make some history on Saturday as the first woman to play in a Power 5 football game. She made the trip to Missouri and will suit up for the game as a kicker. Fuller is a goalkeeper for Vanderbilt's soccer team. And the NBA has released its preseason schedule of 49 games to be played from December 11th through December 19th. Each team will play anywhere from 2 to 4 games. Among the games of note, the Lakers and Clippers will face off on the 11th. The Raptors will play their first game in Tampa, Florida on the 18th, with the regular season set to begin on December 22nd. Nebraska taking on number 24 Iowa in their customary Friday after Thanksgiving battle for the Heroes Trophy. Iowa coming in on a 3-game heater after starting the season 0-2. They've also won 5 straight meetings against the Cornhuskers. Pick it up third quarter, tied at 13. Tied no more. Ramir Johnson dives in for the go-ahead TD, and the Huskers were feeling good. Up 20-13, their first lead of the game. Iowa would respond with a drive of their own. Third quarter, knocking on the door. Makai Sargent makes a nifty cut there and punches it in for the score to tie the game at 20. Iowa would extend their lead 26-20 with a pair of field goals early in the fourth. Keith Duncan, the aforementioned kicker, 4 for 4 on the day, looking at a career long to put this game on ice from 51 yards. Hits a knuckler. It's got a chance, but straight off the crossbar. Take another look. Head high, looked good until it didn't. So it remains a one-score game. Adrian Martinez going to get the ball and a chance to take his team down the field. No, he won't. Sack, fumble, a few plays into the drive, and that was that. Martinez never had a chance to get that one off, and that's how the ball game would end. Iowa would go on to win 26-20 to win their 6th consecutive meeting against the Huskers. The bad blood continues to boil as Iowa also wins their 4th straight game after starting the season 0-2. Stanford and Cal in the 123rd playing of the big game. Not so big this year. Stanford looking to avoid its first 0-3 start since 2006. Cal last year broke a 9-game losing streak to Stanford. Something's got to give. Anyone's game after the half, 10-10 at the break. Austin Jones starts off the second half with a bang. Punches one in to make it 17-10 Tree. Very next drive, Cal with the answer. Chase Garbers rolls out and finds Nico Remigio for a 3-yard TD, ties it again at 17. Later, final 2 minutes of the third quarter, Jones again barreling through, taking a couple with him, puts Stanford back up 24-17. Score would remain right there until the final minute of the game. That's when Christopher Brown gets the job done. Short little run, the Cardinal. In terms of the wagering window here, Cal may not have forced OT, but that last TD meant a whole bunch. They stay inside the 2, and the under comes through as well. Wild finish between Seton Hall and Louisville. Let's show you how we got there. Louisville, 5.5-point favorites headed into this matchup. Back and forth ball game in the first half, but Louisville finds himself up 8 with 12 minutes remaining. That's where we pick it up. Carlik Jones, in the giving mood, dishes it to Aiden Iyahan, who throws it down. Louisville up by 10. But Seton Hall not done just yet. 8 minutes left, 11-point game. Sandru Mamushkeloshvili passes to Shavar Reynolds, who knocks down the triple. Seton Hall down by 8. Just over a minute later, 6-point game. Reynolds to Jared Roden sinks the 3. 3-point game. Minute later, same score. Mamushkeloshvili gives it to Ike Obiagu, and he slams it home, so Seton Hall's down by just 1. They take the lead, they tie the game on free throws, capping off an 11-0 run. They take the lead right there. A forgiving rim
and Mamushkalosvili gives his team the lead 65-62. Less than 2 minutes to go now. Seton Hall up 1. Jalen Withers drives, finishes 67-66 Louisville. Seton Hall going to retake the lead on free throws again. So in the final 30 seconds here, Seton Hall leading 68-67. J.J. Raynard muscles his way to the rack on a second chance look. Louisville back out in front 69-68. Final moments here. Louisville up by 3. Hold on a moment. Didn't look like there was any contact. Let's look at it again. The whistle was blown. It would be 3 shots for Takal Molson. Makes the first 2. The third would send us likely to overtime. But it won't go. Good shooters miss long and short. Great shooters don't miss at all. Ball game. Louisville hangs on to win it 71-70 in an absolute thriller as Seton Hall drops their season opener. Got to be encouraged by what you saw if you're Seton Hall, but at the end of the day, all you see is 0-1 on the record. Seton Hall does stay inside the 5.5, and the total comes in well over the 135. That's going to do it for this hour of CBS Sports HQ, but be sure to keep it locked right here throughout the day for all the latest breaking news in the world of sports.